Okay, time is 6 o'clock, and that'll begin March 11th meeting of the Granite Falls School Board of Directors. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Right there too.
Now I will hand it over to Dr. Geisler for our land acknowledgement.
All right, thank you, Director Ledoux. We honor the first peoples of these lands by acknowledging that the area in which we gather is within the traditional territory of the Still-Squamish tribe of Indians. The Still-Squamish people have inhabited these lands and waters since time immemorial, and their descendants have remained in this territory to this day. The Still-Squamish people have continued to practice the traditional ways of their ancestors of fishing, hunting, and gathering. The Still-Squamish tribe has had these lands and cultural traditions passed on to them by their ancestors, who believe that everything has a spirit and that they are the caretakers of these lands and waters.
Thank you very much. Okay, roll call tonight. We've got Jada, we've got Elijah, maybe Leah will join us at some point. We've got Director Farley, Director Panagas, Director Beach, Director Dane, myself, Director Ledoux, and Dr. Geisler. And I will move to item 3A, board comments. Start off with the board. Director Farley, any comments for this week?
Just enjoyed our conversation this morning. It's wonderful to be getting my feet kind of wet and starting to understand. It's taken.
Appreciate your partnership in all this. It's a fun ride. Well, thank you, Director Panagas.
I just want to say I really enjoyed myself this morning. Student of the month assembly at the middle school, and the just the excitement, the energy, the smiles on the kids' faces, sitting with the parents all with their cell phones. It was really really great to see, and the things the teachers had to say about their students was very, very heartwarming. This month's theme was kindness. And hearing them talk about the kids was special. I also wanted to give a shout out partly for the Eagle Riders, who just donated about $3,400 to our Meals Till Monday program, which provides the backpacks that go home with students on Fridays. And they're probably one of that program's, well, they are that program's most consistent and biggest supporters. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to them. A reminder that the American Legion birthday, they're having a little birthday celebration at City Hall from 1 to 3 this Saturday. It's over 100 years old. And just great to see the classified featured for the classified month. I've really been enjoying it. So that's it.
Director Beach.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. One is the high school, the parents of the high school band kids had a fundraiser. I don't have any idea how much.
Yeah.
Yes, the Beat. I have no idea how much they raised, but I know that they've been trying to raise funds for the band, and it seems like it was fairly well attended. So congratulations to them and anybody that is interested in donating. There are several organizations across our school district that support our students, so please consider that. And also the high school concert I thought it was tomorrow night, but it just today changed in my phone to Friday. Is it Friday or is it tomorrow? Okay, I thought it was tomorrow too. It's almost always, it's on Thursday. It's tomorrow night. We're not going to pay attention to whoever changed it in my phone to Friday. So tomorrow night, I think, yeah, that's also what I thought, but that changed in my phone too. So I'm looking around the room from consensus to see if anyone else knows what's going on at the high school tomorrow. I believe at 7 o'clock is the high school concert. So I'll be attending that. And really, I think that's all I was prepared for this time.
Director Dan?
I don't have anything prepared to talk about tonight, but I am really excited to see the number of people. This is the most folks I've seen in a school board meeting since I've been on the board over 3 years. So thank you guys for coming. It's going to be an exciting presentation tonight.
Yes, thank you. My side, parent teacher conference, obviously this week. It's always good to jump in. That also led to the least exhilarating snow day in my daughter's existence. She didn't appreciate my joke either, where I'm like, you don't have school today. And so that was fun. And then also I got out to Battle of the Classes. Very, very fun to see. I do think we need more microphones out for the skits. So some of them were a little difficult to hear, but good all around. And then I am thankful that we didn't have any injuries with Dizzy Bat and a few other things. There were some people that were struggling there at the end, and they powered through like champs. So, but it was super fun to watch, and it was very impressive, yet also very sad once they gave the instructions to clean up. The walls went from like the Wizard of Oz. It was just like within 3 minutes, no joke. All the bleachers were cleared. All the walls were sheared. People were being lifted up on shoulders to get tape off the walls. Like, it was very impressive. So, okay. So those are my comments. Jada, any comments from your side?
Well, you brought up the student, BOTC, and I was very happy we won this year. We put a lot of work to it, so we were very proud. And then our Anna Cordes meeting that we went to was very fun. We had a great time with Tanya and Cleveland. Got ice cream.
Got ice cream.
Yeah, the person let us in, even though they were closed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had no way for us to pay. So,
Oh.
very fun. It was interesting to hear what they're doing, like in their schools. And I thought it'd be fun an idea to put a student board page in the yearbook to show like what we've been doing.
Great idea.
And that's about it.
Thank you. Elijah, anything from your side?
Well, we have a job fair coming up. It's a little field trip for Crossroads. I think it's on the 19th. 2 weeks from, or no, a week from now. It's going to be a really interesting opportunity for people who want to get into trades, which I think is, really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Prom's also coming up on the 24th, I believe. You'll have to fact check me on that, but very excited. And that,
At the Grange?
I believe so.
Okay. How many employers will be at the job fair? Do you know?
A few teachers.
Okay.
From Crossroads. Miss Perkins is the one running it. So
Nice. Cool. Well, appreciate it. So that finalizes 3A. We're going to do 3B and 3C together. So 3B is superintendent report presented by Dr. Giesman, and then also roll into the transition program presentation by Aileen Brower.
All right, I'll wait till we get our slides up here. All right, this is Classified Staff Appreciation Week, and so things are happening across our system. So thank you, especially to our school leaders who are just going above and beyond to honor our classified staff who really are just so critical in all the things that they do to support our kids. If you do end up over at Monte Cristo, you will get an awesome piece of cake of some sort. Yesterday, it was a lemon extravaganza with, let me tell you, it was delicious with lemon curd in the middle. I'm in. Today, yesterday, maybe was today the hummingbird cake. Yeah. So, but at every building, it's just recognizing our classified staff for all they do to support us. So thank you to our classified staff members. Next thing I want to talk about just a little bit is our next slide, please, Dan. Thank you. Oh, I probably have a clicker somewhere. Yeah. So a little communications update. We have worked pretty diligently, and a huge thank you to Tani to continue to tell our story. There are amazing things happening across our system each and every day. So we have increased our social media presence. I'll give you a little bit of some statistics on that. But these are just some examples of celebrations that we have put out through Facebook, through Instagram, and then we'll talk a little bit about some next avenues that we'll be diving into social media wise. We want to show all the wonderful things that are happening. and celebrate our staff. And some of the ways we do that is some of the Faces of Granite Falls examples and thanking our voters. And there's some amazing things happening in fine arts and, dress up, all of the things that are happening across our system. I think there looks like some people that a picture of them in the bottom middle that might be also in the space today that may be here to talk to us about transition program too. So we will continue to do this because it's just, we want to, again, tell our story and show all of the wonderful things that are happening each and every day in our classrooms and our schools. Next slide, Dan. Oh, sorry. Take on Todd. Like back in COVID when we're like, next slide, please. So it's kind of an overview and you can dive into some of these statistics, and thank you, Tani, for putting this together. But the most important thing is continuing to grow that reach. And I think one of the most biggest takeaways is on the bottom there when it talks about our non-followers. So you can see social media data, even if you're not a follower for us. And I think that's fantastic because that means it's going to others. It's going to aunts and uncles and cousins and friends and all of that. We want to continue to do that. And it talks about total views. When you look at those numbers, they're staggering. And so it's really important, the information that we put out there, and we need to continue to do that, to tag our buildings in our district posts and vice versa. And this is just in the last 14 months, if you will. Thank you. Community engagement is also, are people reading it? And then what are they saying? So, the reactions to it are 85% positive. There's some comments, some shares. So going out to others, because for some people, if they have family that doesn't live close, this is a great way to share, that their son or daughter or whatever was highlighted, or a staff member that works here. Some of the top performing content, athletics, of course, Faces of Granite Falls. Patty is pretty popular downstairs, apparently. And then for our community spirit, that the work that JVJ in the middle school, manufacturing and construction, they have the signs at the roundabouts that we all know and love. And, in that last 28 days, that's a lot of reach with Facebook and Instagram. So that's quite an increase in that percentage. So yes, it's okay. So some next steps that Tani really is looking into. And, I have to just continue to say, it is so nice to have someone who can do this. She knows that I have a grand idea. And I'm like, you know what? We were at Mountain Way last Thursday for the principal interviews. And I went to a kindergarten classroom and they had these awesome snowmen and then these writing journals that I was like, this is fantastic. So me and my big ideas, I'm like, hey, Ton, could you go take a bunch of pictures of these snowmen? We'll use them for something. They're fantastic. And then look at this writing. This is incredible. Our kids they're just making such growth in their kinders and they're telling their story. And so pulled out a ton of writing samples and took pictures of that because it's the fun stuff, but it's academics too. And we want readers and writers. So all of those things. And then, of course, she puts together, a post about our snow day with the kinder snowmen. And it's just, that's what it's about, right? Showing that our kids are doing, fun and creative and amazing things. But we do want to explore some other ways to get the word out through LinkedIn, platforms like TikTok. We know that millennials and Gen Z and others we reach them in a different way. We also know the attention span for many is not super long. So we want to make sure we're able to tell our quick story in many ways, in many avenues. And then, additionally, we want to make sure that we are showing academic things. It's not just sports and creating snowmen. It's also, like I said, that writing piece, or it could be an adoption of a curriculum and its use. All of those things are important. So still work to do. Would love any feedback or ideas and those kind of things. But how would somebody know that we have their transition program is making dog biscuits that are for sale for $5 each? Oh, my dog, right? We wouldn't know that unless we put it out there and let people know this is the great things that our kids are doing and come be a part of it and get in our schools and see the great things that are happening. So we do have a 3-month goal, and Director Dane, you can feel free to pass this along. We are looking to surpass the Granite Falls Fire Department following. I told Ton, we're throwing the gauntlet down. We're going to have more followers than the fire department. Yeah. That's probably not going to happen, but we can have that goal. It's okay, right?
Oh,
We're getting there. So they're going to have to, step up their game
We'll
a
step
little
up our
bit.
game.
Well, I will say though, too, you also shortchanged yourself on the math before. So January through October,
Mhm.
you averaged about 40,000 views or 40,000 impressions per month. And then from October through now, you've averaged 100,000. So that's 150% growth.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot more getting out there.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And who wants to see Mr. Cruz do a TikTok on the financial status of the district?
That sounds riveting. Doesn't that sound exciting? So,
Next.
yeah, thank you. And now, I would like to introduce, some friends that we have in the room. So Aileen Brower is, a teacher at Granite Falls High School, and she leads our transition program. And we have some of our students here today who do amazing things all over town. You guys are famous. So they're going to talk to us a little bit, and I'm going to turn it over to Aileen, and we'll go through those slides and then,
Perfect.
yeah, take it away.
All right. Is it okay just to sit or
You
stand?
can, you can stand right
Okay.
there. That'd be great.
And you can tell me when you're next. I got the clicker.
Okay.
So
First off, just want to welcome some of my students. I have Chris and Carter and Jacob and their families and some amazing staff as well. I honestly couldn't do this without my amazing staff that I have. So thank you guys for coming.
Classified staff members.
I know they're amazing. They're amazing. All right, next. Yeah, sorry. All right. So the transition program is for students 18 to 22 with disabilities. And the program itself, it's our second year here at Granite Falls. Previously, they were going out to Lake Stevens and in other districts. So this is a newer program to Granite Falls. And I will say I was a little nervous with working and partnering with the community because I'm new to Granite. I live in Marysville, but I'm new in the school district here. It's about I'm going on my fourth year. I was blown away with our community. So not only did they welcome us and open up their businesses to us, we are working in Alfie's Pizza, IGA, the Food Bank, Community Coalition. We are working in the Granite Falls Hardware Store. We're working in the preschool downstairs. We're working in Crossroads. We are working in the tech department. Thank you. Thank you. And so my biggest goal is to make sure that my students are getting vocational skills and things that they can apply to their resume and real work experience. So then when they do go and they will get all paid employment, that is our goal by the end of their program. But the biggest part for them is to be able to have that experience and build those partnerships in the community. And adding to their resumes, finding things they like or they didn't like. I've had several students who are like, oh, I don't ever want to work with kids. And then now we've had to be like, okay, guys, we have to spread it out because we have too many people who wanted to work with the kids and people who didn't think they wanted to. We had people who didn't think they want to ever volunteer at the food bank. And it became a thing where we took over during summer and they were coming over, school's over, they're allowed to have their summer break. And I had some students that just wanted to keep going, keep being with the people that they've built relationships with. So this community has blown me away with how amazing they are and how welcoming they are. And so Mondays is a really cool opportunity is we have guest speakers. And so I like to get people from all walks of life and from all over, not just here in Granite, but I do love getting Granite as well. So we've had the sheriff, we've had the trash, Greg Mackey, he's fabulous. We've had speech and language pathologists come. We've had a cookie business that is completely run by people with disabilities from Anacortes. We've had other people with a veterinarian come in. And so it gives our students all different kinds of opportunities to learn about what's out there. Because I think the worst thing in the world is to say a student can only do X, Y, or Z. I believe that every student can do anything they want to do. Any human being can do anything they want to do as long as you're willing to try. And so my students, I push them, and I'm like, okay, let's try this. We're going to try something new. And so I'm so proud of them. And so Mondays, I absolutely love it. We get to work on budgeting. We get to work on meal planning. We get to work on building our resumes. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're out here in the community working and getting to add to those resumes. And I tell them that also the opportunity is they're building references. They're able to make that connection in the community. And I think one of the coolest things was a parent let me know that I think it was during maybe like the train days that they had said that they were just walking around and then somebody was like, oh, hey, and said the student's name and recognized him. And that had built that relationship that went outside of just the school day. And I don't know if you've ever just wanted to feel welcomed. And that's what our community has done to my students. They've allowed them to feel welcomed, not just on a job day, but outside of it, which has been just such a beautiful opportunity. And then our next, yeah, sorry.
Nope, you're good.
Like trying to redo it.
Dan, you might need to go next.
Okay. And so one of the things is sometimes things cost money, right? And so we have a lot of things that we like to do. Our Friday engagement activities, it allows our students to go out into the community. Like we do tours, we toured the post office. We're going to be touring City Hall, and we get to meet the mayor on the 27th. We get to, we toured Funko, we went roller skating, we went bowling. We get to do a lot of opportunities, but it does cost money. And so I've had awesome families that have been able to support their students, but one of the things is to teach them how to be independent, right? So we created a business. And yes. So they have made, and they're all, so it's made with pumpkin puree, whole wheat flour, peanut butter, xylitol free, a little bit of cinnamon and egg. And so what I think is even cooler than just that my students are baking and making these dog treats and packaging them up. The coolest thing is they voted and came up with their own name. And so we had this whole process where we had to like write and vote. And so it is called Oh My Dog. Which I absolutely love. And then the artwork as well. I know it's little, but the artwork on here, one of our students drew it. And he is an amazing artist. And so getting to be able to use my students' skills and be able to show them and showcase it. So like not only bringing dog treats that go to support our program so our students can do different activities, is you get to buy a piece of art, which I think is pretty cool. And he's so talented, and I can't wait to see what else he's going to do. He's amazing. So our Oh My Dog business has been flying. It's been really great. We've been baking on Wednesdays and then going to school events. Carter has been my awesome partner in crime with this. He has given up many hours to sit and sell. And
no time. Or even ever.
And he's been so great with it because he is just quite the salesman. He when people will come in and he will be like, don't you want to just buy a dog treat? And someone's like, well, I'm not hungry. And he's like, well, just buy it anyway.
And I
then
tell her one of them denied my request.
Good day.
I know.
But like, I don't have a dog, and you're like, you know, somebody who has a dog,
right?
Yeah.
Right. And then we let them know it's, you know, it's people friendly food, but no, this is for dogs. It's for dogs. But I'm really proud of them because they have really been able to like just run with this business. And so it just shows that they really can do anything. They are unstoppable, and I'm so proud of them. And so our community engagement activities is definitely something that I love because it gets to build those social skills. We're able to apply. Like when we're learning how with our money sense and our budgeting, they're able to apply those in real life settings. And so it's not just like sitting here on a paper and then trying to be like, okay, someday I will learn how to make an exchange and make a purchase, and like getting to see students who hadn't worked with going up to a random stranger and be like, I'd like to buy this. And then how much money, and handing that over. That might seem like a little thing, but it's a lot when it's your first time. And then, so I'm really proud.
Carter, could you tell, there might be some people watching online and then there's people in the room. How would someone who doesn't work at the high school, how would they go about getting a hold of the transition program so that they could purchase Oh My Dog biscuits?
Well, they could either pay card. We also take card, not just cash, Mrs. Brower.
Yep.
Gotta remind you that. Not just cash, but card.
Who would they contact? Or where could they find the information?
In the website.
Okay. So at the high school's website, and there's a spot that has.
We don't have our own yet. We're working on that. Yep. We're working on that. But Miss Tanya has been able to put that in newsletters, so you can find it on the newsletters. And then also I have my email on there.
Yes.
But if you just come, where can they come to? Like the front office?
From the front office.
And Miss who? Remember who that was? Miss Jane.
Miss Jamie.
Miss Jamie. Yep.
Yep.
And they just go to Miss Jamie and she knows where our bones are.
Mhm.
And then so Miss Jamie's been making the purchase or making the sales for us while we're gone.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. Thank you.
Okay. So the other thing that I like about the program, and I could not do this without my amazing six. I have six amazing paras, and I can't even call them paras. They're amazing human beings. So they give up their time and their skills and their just creativeness. They're just awesome. But so they come and they have helped me do game nights, and we do it once a month. And this allows our students to be able to build those friendships, to build connections, to be able to have fun and silly and play games in a safe space. And we do it at the school once a month. And there's been times that I haven't been able to make it, and my amazing staff have been able to take over for me. So I'm really grateful. But again, the Granite Falls Transition Program, it really is more than just learning. Like, it is being able to apply those skills. It's being able to find a place where they find purpose, and I can't wait. I'm excited for them.
Great, thank you.
Item 3D, business report prepared by Marshall Cruz.
So we're kind of trying something different this month in that we're embedding an executive summary in superintendent report. So the full business report will always be available on the board packet. There's some legal requirements in the full business report that for audit and legal requirements has to have all these comparisons and things, but it ends up being 40 pages long. So we decided to try this month to try and put a little embedded kind of executive summary in the superintendent report and see how you guys like this. So the content is everything that's in the business report, but it's just kind of whittled down into 4 slides. So first, a quick summary. Our enrollment's right on budget. Crossroads enrollment is down, which we expected because of the Lake Stevens agreement sunsetting. K-12 is up, both compared to budget and compared to last year. SPED enrollment is steady, but it's been kind of flat all year, but it's higher than it has been last year, and it's higher than budget. General fund balance is $1 million better than it was last year at this time, but it's still trending a little bit behind budget, basically due to the big 3 that we always talk about: the SPED not being fully funded, the cost of utilities, and insurance, and then the transportation costs. The co-op sunsetting is also putting pressure on our ability to grow fund balance this year because we weren't sure going into this year how much the enrollment would decline at Crossroads. So we're forecasting a 6% fund balance, and the full business report, as I mentioned, is included in the board packet. Next one here. Then just I handpicked a few pieces of information that I thought were important. Enrollment kind of shows you the trend. We are right at budget. The thing that's not in there yet is worksite. We add worksite at the end of the year once we know how much worksite credit we get. So that's usually about 20 to 30 FTE that will be added. So we'll end up a little over budget, better than budget for enrollment. And we'll get a little bit of a boost in funding the last month of the year when we report all of our worksite learning enrollment. SPED is a little bit higher than budget. Not fully funded. We're operating in a deficit in SPED. We're looking at a pretty sizable record high safety net. Even with the additional funding for special ed, we are still going to get the most safety net funding we've ever gotten here this year. So, and it still won't be enough to cover everything.
But I think that it's important to note, and Rachel, feel free to jump in here as well. I think it's important to note, though, that of course the state came in with more funding. So every student who qualifies for special education services, we're getting funding for. And then we were still able to access, and Rachel and team have worked really hard over the last 2 months on everything safety net. It is quite cumbersome if you've ever plowed through that process. So I want a huge shout out to our student services team. And then secondly, it takes a long time when we're trying to look at SPED numbers and the percentages and to correct that and get tier 1 where it needs to be. So we don't have quite so many referrals and those kind of things, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. But I'm really proud of our team, and I am proud that we're continuing to grow that fund balance just a little bit. It's going to be a little slower going. So we're going to have a conversation at some point about that board policy around fund balance and what that looks like for us over the next several years, with some reasonable expectations.
And I will say I had a business meeting up in Anacortes a week ago, and statewide, we're seeing the only uptick in enrollment that's happening is in students with services. So more students are being qualified for services, while enrollment overall is declining statewide. It seems to be a trend, whether it's COVID or what have you. Next slide. Just a quick summary of where all of our funds stood in January. General fund was negative $66,000. Everything else is positive that's the second column there of numbers. So and then comparing it to prior year, I think we're not meeting, I think our goal was to have 7% fund balance this year. We're on track for about 6%, conservatively 6%. I try to be conservative, but we're $1 million, $970,000 better than we were this time last year, which is fantastic. All of our other funds are strong. We did get a new bus this a couple of days ago, so we have another new bus coming next week. So our transportation vehicle fund will be lower, but it takes a couple of years to get buses, so we'll be continuing to order buses. Next one. And finally, just kind of a forecast of how we're going to end the year. Our beginning fund balance was $2.37 million. We're going to have about $46.5 million in revenue. We're going to have about $46 million in expenditures. We're going to grow our fund balance a little bit, and that's right around 6%, a little 5.85. One of the things that the Skyward calculates encumbrances for us based on outstanding POs and outstanding contracts for employees. One of the things it doesn't do a good job of is if we build a new PO for a new vendor for a service, we tend to not cancel the old PO. So there's probably some fat in the outside services and supplies categories because of POs that are still sitting out there that won't be fully used. So this is the total value of the POs is what's encumbered, and that's just the way the system calculates it.
What is not in there, though, is if someone goes on leave and has a leave balance, and then you're hiring a sub and you're still paying a full salary, and that tends to impact us greatly.
Yeah, it's only stuff that we can know. We know. And the category for non-encumbered is we have employees that will have contracts that end at the end of June, but they'll get a new contract in July, and that July and August contracted wages and benefits don't show up in encumbrances because the system doesn't really exist yet. So the non-encumbered is just an estimate of what those summer costs will be. And that is it. And this is a work in progress. So if there's other pieces that you'd like to see in this, or if you think that reviewing the full 35, 40-page report is a better version, let me know. But it's going to be in the packet all the time because it is a legal requirement that we have comparisons to actual, comparisons to projected, all those comparison charts. That it is a legal requirement, but it doesn't have to be presented to the public every time.
And that would be my comment, Marshall, is I think it adds to the transparency of exactly what it is you're doing in the business report, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Any questions?
I have a simple question. I don't know if I'm connecting A and B. So next 30 days, it says we're finalizing the last of the plumbing fixture replacements. Is that the water quality
Yeah.
plumbing fixture?
Yeah.
Okay,
We got
so
the
then
grant for.
we did.
Yes.
Yes, we should put that. We got the.
Yeah, it's
grant.
100% grant funded, so
100%.
$70,000 grant paying for it all.
Nice. Yes, let's mention that and put that in the board notes, the meeting notes. $70,000.
Any other comments or? I was just gonna say too, just for clarity, I always feel like I like to treat every board meeting as if it's the first time that people are learning about things as well too. Bus specifically comes out of transportation budget.
Yeah.
So like when we're talking about general fund and otherwise, Marshall had a slide earlier that showed, I think right now we've got $535,000 in transportation. It's like if you had a bank account where you could only use to go buy cars. So like
That
that's,
would be a nice thing.
it would be a great bank account to have, but yeah, so, and then my question within there is the assumption that we're going down, or buses they're about 200 a piece?
A full-size big bus is 185 now.
Okay.
And oddly, a small bus is like 145.
Okay.
So,
And we just got one.
yeah, we just got a big bus, and we have a small bus that I think has arrived, but is getting inspected.
Okay. Good.
One more thing about transportation. There's a terrible bill that is likely going to pass in this year's budget that is changing the transportation depreciation cycle. It used to depreciate buses for, I think, 10 years and smaller buses for 8 years. It's moving all of them to a 15-year depreciation schedule, which will mean
More maintenance.
but less money to buy buses. And they think it's going to save the state like $25 or $30 million, but it's going to make us hold on to buses 5 years longer and small buses even longer. And it's likely going to pass. So it's just going to kind of make another
That
problem.
sounds like we need to buy big buses as a priority in order to,
Regardless, we have the money for them now.
yeah.
Like it's just going to affect funding here in the future, but whatever we buy is going to fall in. I'm assuming, right? Because if we buy them now and then they move a lot, we're just going to be expected to move our books into a 15-year depreciation.
Yeah, they'll still be in a
cycle.
15-year depreciation. Even the buses already own, they'll still be in a 15-year depreciation schedule.
Yeah.
And that's the way they basically say they depreciate it down to zero, and each year's depreciation becomes a revenue for us to buy a new bus. And now, I mean, it's hard enough already, but now it's a 15-year depreciation cycle, and that's a pretty long time for a bus.
Mhm.
It's a really long time. The people voting may not have ridden on a school bus recently.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I appreciate it. Nothing else? Great. All right. Thanks, Marshall.
Yeah.
Item 4 from the floor. Anything? No. Okay. 5, unfinished business. We have none. 6A, new business resolution 2526-11, reduced educational support resolution. Any comments, discussion?
No, it's pretty clear that this is an action that we have to take because of our sunset agreement with Lake Stevens and the smaller enrollment in Crossroads. And it's a proactive approach to what we have to do in the future for Crossroads. So,
Any other discussion? And I'd like to make a motion that we adopt resolution 2526-11, reduced educational support resolution.
a second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then moving on to the consent agenda, there was one addition to the consent.
The personnel report.
To the
Should be updated.
personnel report. So take a look at that, but any discussion on consent agenda? I'll give you a few seconds to just double check and make sure.
Is that including the Snohomish County Detention Center. Am I on the wrong one?
That was already on the consent agenda.
Mhm.
That was.
I had a question.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I just needed a little clarification. Is that, it's not like, it says ESD, but it's not their NRLC, their regional learning center, correct? This is through Denny?
Yeah, so it's, the ESD takes care of, if we have students placed at the detention center, it takes care of their education.
Yes, but that's what I wanted to clarify, that that's what it was. Okay,
It's a
thank you.
service ESD provides.
Any other comments, questions?
Just looking at the boilers at Monte Cristo, and just because I guess for public information, because we've been talking about HVAC and the levy and using that money and the cost of all this, the 30% poor condition rating of the heating systems. It's very concerning. The facility HVAC distribution is also rated as poor and the ventilation as fair, which is exactly why. Just one more thank you to the community for voting yes on the levy so that we can replace some of these really aging.
Inefficient, completely.
Yeah, inefficient. So again, with the transparency, sometimes these kind of reports might be boring. And why does it cost $80,000? But then you look at, the professionals have looked at it and it's pretty bad. So thank you for funding the levy and thereby funding some of these repairs. Just wanted to call that out.
Any other discussion? Without any other further discussion or objection, the consent agenda will pass with unanimous consent. And that leads us to 6:42, which adjourns the